Hello and welcome back to another video of the Happiness Coach. My name is Toria and I am a health and wellbeing coach and also a happiness expert, and I am trying to build a community here, so please click subscribe, click the links, follow us on all the socials. It would be amazing if you could, and it doesn't cost anything, like so much in this world. So today we are talking again a bit about self-care and how it can make you happier. How can that possibly make me happier? I've been for my mental health walk, I've had a bath, I've done all of these things people suggest I do, and it's just not working. So these are self-care elements that we cannot see and may not really even come into your mind as self-care. However, they are the things, the elements to self-care that are going to last a long time, that are very important to your long-term mental health. So, let's get started. Number one, boundaries. I cannot stress enough how much setting boundaries for yourself and for others, you don't have to tell them, it might make you feel like really icky saying I can't set boundaries with other people. This may be something that you're really struggling with, that actually is part of the reason you are not finding your happiness self. If you are unaware of where your boundaries are, if it makes you feel uncomfortable, that's because it's being stepped over. You have your own core values. You have things that make you feel right, wrong, that if it happened to a friend, how would you feel and what would you recommend they do? That's where your boundary lies, okay? Once you know that is a boundary for you, that you do not want to be stepped over by people, it's easy to be able to say, to set boundaries, but you need to know how to navigate and involve them in your life. You have to be and follow your boundaries. You are the person who needs to demonstrate this. Other people don't know where they are. They might overstep them, but they don't know they're doing that. You have to be the one to respect your boundaries. So to make sense of this, if it, say, makes you feel uncomfortable, then you know you're overstepping your boundaries. That little voice in your head that perhaps says, we shouldn't really be doing this. Really ask yourself and find out why. Is it just because society says you shouldn't do this thing? Or are you actually pushing your own boundaries and making yourself feel under pressure? When I say like boundaries, I don't mean physical boundaries. I'm not talking about stepping outside your comfort zone, but respecting yourself. That's where it matters. Okay? So if I ask you, do you mind doing this favor for me? And it is going to massively inconvenience you, and you can't think of any, you feel bad to say no. So you say yes. And now you are massively inconvenienced. You can't help me well, even though I could have just found another way to do it. But because you said yes, you've overstepped your own boundary, okay? It's going to take practice, and you might not know where they are until you come across one, but that's where you are. So respecting your own boundaries. Number two, this comes into giving space and time to your own emotions. You cannot help your emotions. Okay? They go on a circle. You think something, you feel something else, so you do something, the third part. So you can't help your thoughts, they are just there from what is around you, okay? And then your emotions, they come into it depending on what you've thought about. So say, just very basic, if we talk about food and trying to eat well, if you've got a kettle and you're boiling the kettle or coffee maker, and you really want to try and stop having a biscuit with a coffee, but the biscuit tin is next to your coffee maker, you think, coffee maker, oh, you see the biscuit tin, so you feel, oh, I really want a treat. I'm going to have a biscuit. It's a habit, it's behavior, so you do. When it comes to emotions and being happy, is a biscuit going to make you happy? Great, have a biscuit with your coffee. That's amazing. But if later on down the line, you're going to be like, damn it, I didn't want to have that. That's where you need to capture that thought. So move the biscuit tin away from the coffee maker. And now when you have a coffee, you can't see the biscuit tin. So you might start to think, oh, do I want a biscuit? Or do I want a biscuit? It's breaking that cycle of behavior. So if this is a person and we're talking about relationships, and you always do something, you always go to a certain place, and then this person always says something that makes you feel bad. You can't avoid going to the place, but you can change that thought before the person says something to make you feel bad. You need to not speak to them. You need to direct the conversation. However the circumstances, giving space and time to feel your emotions will allow them to come more naturally. So asking why, that's what I mean by giving space and time before you act upon them instantly. Hold it, bring it out in the daylight, really think, what is it? Why am I feeling this? They don't come just on their own. They're always related to a memory, and that's related to a situation. Our brains do all sorts of wonderful things, but they link this thought, feel, do, action, this process. So if you're not giving space to your emotions and not wondering why you're feeling that way, you're acting on them very quickly. So this element of self-care just allows you to be. It gives you time. It's a great way to think and follow the trail back. Why am I feeling this way? What is it that's making me feel like this? And then you can act as you would like to, rather than acting out of emotion and then regretting it later on, or like wishing you could have thought of something more witty to say to the person who keeps upsetting you. Giving yourself space and giving yourself time. Now, the third thing we can do for self-care you cannot see is to start to balance our negative and positive scales. If we think and try and imagine we have a scale in our head, and there is positive on one side and there is negative on the other. Now, normally we would like it to just balance. Now, bad things happen, we go to the negative and then we bounce back. Or we have something really good happen. We're on holiday, it's our birthday, or anything amazing. But gradually we reset to our base level. This, for some people, and maybe you are finding this is more you're not really set to a positive tilt, you're set to a negative tilt. There's nothing wrong with this, except if it start making you unhappy. So when you are feeling like, I am definitely in the negative part all the time, you're seeing the worst in situations, you're thinking of worst case scenario, you don't try and do anything new because it's guaranteed to fail. You're looking for the black cloud rather than the silver lining to things. This is because you're set to the negative. Okay? But the good news is you can reset yourself. Resilience comes from that negativity, being able to set back to base level. But if you never go back to the positive, good things are never going to make you happy and feel that joy. It's always going to be down. The way you can do this is to start resetting the part of your brain, which is like a filter, okay? It's part of the amygdala and it filters out the non-important stuff. Does this naturally. That's lovely. But if you have pointed it towards negative because of trauma, because something bad has always happened to you, because of one instance or many instances over a long period of time, you're going to look for the negative, and that's the way you are set. So what your brain will look for. So we have to feed it differently. We have to give it new nutrients. We have to feed it positivity. That can come, and it has to be the small. Can't be the big birthday, the holiday, exciting things that push us that way. We just need to balance. So we're going to look for the small little positivities that are day to day. So it comes into positive journaling. If you journal, you will know it takes time, but gradually you can rewire your brain by looking for the good things in life. How things taste. We eat things really quickly. Do we actually really take time to enjoy it? That coffee you have when you go into work in the morning, guzzling it down. If you can breathe, give time, enjoy it, that's a little positive for the day. You will know your positives, where you can look for them. And it doesn't have to be anything big. It's better if it's not. It's best if it's tiny little things, little, small, good feelings. If you always do one particular thing a particular way and you decide, do you know what, I'm going to do and walk this way instead. I'm going to walk to work like this way, or I'm going to walk to school with the kids today, or I'm going to go outside on a walk for my lunch and notice the world around me. Or if you're feeling very, very, very low and you are not in a place that you can even reach out for any glimmer of positivity in your life, please reach out to a medical professional. Please reach out and speak to some of the lambs. I'll put them in our comments below, and get medical help. But even in those darkest moments, speak to a friend. Think how they would describe you. Try and believe them if you can. Just feel good. Put music on that makes you feel good. Eat something comforting. Because before you reach that positive scale, I'm not trying to go like that. Just trying to reset to balance. This is where comfort is. I'm not suggesting we'll go get a tub of Ben and Jerry's and comfort. If you want to, do it. If you want to eat really, like, it's a feeling it gives you for like a really warm soup or noodles or a pasta dish, something that's savoury or sweet. It's your choice, but something that just reminds you and is comforting, like giving yourself a hug. These will all help to reset you to comfort. The reason I said not about Ben and Jerry's is because I know my scales will go, and then I'll be like, oh, I shouldn't have eaten that. And I'll be right down there. So you have to be confident in your choices, okay? But nobody can judge you. Only you can do that. So please make it just for you. Make it self-care. So all these elements of self-care that you cannot see are the most important ones, and the elements that will help build a stronger, happier version of you. Okay? We're not trying to change you. You're not trying to be a different person. Just little tweaks. Okay. Thank you so much for being here today. It's been amazing to see you. As I say, it costs nothing and I will love you forever. If you can hit subscribe and ding the bell, please take care of yourself. Reach out to medical professionals if you are feeling exceptionally low. And I look forward to having you with me in another video. Bye.